The rolling hills of Thessaly basked in the golden light of the midday sun. A gentle breeze rustled through the leaves of ancient olive trees, whispering secrets long forgotten. It was a land where myth and reality intertwined, a place where heroes and monsters shared the same soil. Among its many legends, none were as wild and ferocious as the Battle of the Centaurs, a clash that shook the very foundations of the ancient world. The centaurs, half man and half horse, roamed the rugged landscapes of Thessaly, their hooves thundering against the earth. Born from the union of Ixion, a cursed king, and Nephili, a cloud fashioned in the likeness of Hera, these creatures embodied both the wisdom of man and the untamed spirit of the beast. Though some were noble and wise, many were wild and unruly, driven by primal instincts and a love for revelry. Their leader, Eurytion, was among the fiercest of them all, his strength legendary, his temper uncontrollable. Their greatest rivals were the Lapiths, a proud and noble race of men led by their king, Pirithous. The Lapiths were renowned warriors, their spears sharp, their shields unbreakable. They saw the centaurs as little more than savages, creatures incapable of discipline or honor. The tensions between them had long simmered, but it was at the wedding of Pirithous and his beloved Hippodamia that they finally boiled over into full-fledged war. The wedding feast was a grand affair, a spectacle of music, laughter, and flowing wine. The gods themselves had blessed the union, and among the honored guests was the hero Theseus, a close friend of Pirithous. The centaurs, too, had been invited, for they were kin to the Lapiths, despite their many differences. At first, the feast was a celebration of unity, but as the wine flowed freely, so did the tempers of the centaurs. Eurytion, having drunk more than his fill, cast his wild eyes upon Hippodamia, her beauty stirring a dangerous desire within him. With a roar, he lunged forward, seizing the bride in his powerful arms. The hall erupted in chaos. The Lapiths sprang to their feet, drawing their weapons, while the centaurs, driven by their leader's madness, followed suit. Tables were overturned, goblets shattered against the stone floor, and the air was filled with the clash of steel and the cries of warriors. Theseus was the first to react. With his mighty strength, he struck Eurytion, sending the centaur sprawling across the hall. But the insult only fueled the centaur's fury. They stormed forward, their hooves pounding against the marble, their weapons crude but deadly. The Lapiths, though outnumbered, fought with the discipline of seasoned warriors. Spears found their marks, swords cleaved through flesh and bone, and the once joyful hall was transformed into a battlefield. Pirithous led his men with the might of a true king, his sword carving a path through the enemy. He met Eurytion in combat, their blades clashing with the force of a thunderstorm. The centaur, though strong, was blinded by rage, while Pirithous fought with the clarity of a man defending his home. With a final strike, the Lapith king drove his sword through Eurytion's heart, ending the battle's instigator. But the war was far from over. The surviving centaurs, unwilling to accept defeat, fled into the forests and mountains, vowing revenge. For days, they gathered their forces, calling upon their wild brethren from the farthest reaches of Thessaly. When they returned, it was not as drunken revelers but as a true army, their eyes burning with the fire of vengeance. The Lapiths, too, prepared for battle. Word of the centaurs' approach spread through the kingdom, and warriors from every village rallied to Pirithous' side. Theseus remained by his friend, his strength a beacon of hope among the defenders. As dawn broke over the battlefield, two great forces stood poised to clash, the fate of Thessaly hanging in the balance. The centaurs charged first, their hooves churning the earth, their war cries echoing through the hills. They wielded clubs, axes, and jagged blades, their attacks wild but devastating. The Lapiths met them with shields locked, their spears thrusting forward in disciplined formation. The two sides collided with a force that shook the ground, and the battle began in earnest. Blood stained the earth as warriors fell on both sides. The centaurs, with their immense strength and speed, tore through the ranks of the Lapiths, but the men, with their superior tactics and training, held their ground. Theseus fought like a lion, his sword flashing in the sunlight, cutting down foes with each strike. Pirithous, too, was unstoppable, his fury matching that of the centaurs. The battle raged for hours, neither side willing to yield. But as the sun reached its zenith, the tide began to turn. The Lapiths, though weary, pressed forward with renewed vigor. One by one, the centaurs fell, their numbers dwindling under the relentless assault. At last, the survivors broke and fled, disappearing into the wilderness from whence they came. The Lapiths had emerged victorious, but their victory came at a great cost. Many brave warriors had perished, and the land bore the scars of war. Pirithous, though triumphant, mourned the loss of his kin, and Theseus, ever the hero, vowed to ensure peace would endure. The Battle of the Centaurs became a tale told for generations, a legend of bravery and savagery, of civilization and chaos. The centaurs, though defeated, remained a symbol of untamed nature, lurking in the shadows of Greece's mighty mountains. And so, the land of Thessaly, forever marked by their clash, stood as a testament to the wildest myth of ancient Greece.